Hi, welcome to the Taco Cast. I'm Crystal.
I'm Will.
And you're our audience, and thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday afternoon.
Welcome.
Okay. So, we're going to jump right in, and we're going to talk a little bit today about online shopping.
Ooh. Something I've done a lot of during this coronavirus.
I'm sure it's something a lot of us have done a lot of during coronavirus. I'm honestly a little bit sad that Amazon Prime isn't 2-day shipping anymore.
Is it?
No, it's not.
Why not?
Recent problems with the USPS have kind of put a crimp in that. Although I don't have any proof of this, but it's my suspicion that Amazon wanted to cut back on that anyways, because 2-day shipping isn't exactly cheap. So I think Amazon was just like, oh no, USPS, I guess we're gonna have to not do that thing anymore. Totally not our fault.
So you have a conspiracy theory. You think that Jeff Bezos is like, you know what, I can save myself an extra 17 cents on every delivery.
17 cents over hundreds of thousands of deliveries adds up mighty fast.
Well, how much is that? That's a lot. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't numbers. So
you don't number at all.
I don't numbers.
No.
Okay. So, that is what we are going to discuss today. And we're going to discuss that today, and we'll get into it in depth later on, because I got scammed.
She did.
Mm-hmm. And it's the first time it's happened to me.
Really?
That I can think of.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's happened sometime beforehand, but maybe not in this particular... I'm not recalling a time in which that has happened beforehand, where I've purchased something online and not gotten... Oh, well, no, that's not entirely true.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the secondary market. I did get scammed on the retail market, which we'll discuss a little bit with that super organizer. Oh, that made me mad. Anyway, so, as of April of 2019, online sales had actually eclipsed, well, maybe not eclipsed, but they paced retail sales, in-person retail sales. People were doing about the same amount of online shopping as they were doing in-person shopping. So it's not just COVID, although I'm sure that the COVID isolation and all that has caused an even bigger uptick. We were actually already headed there beforehand. So there's a couple of different ways that people buy online. Yep. So there's direct sales. You can purchase directly from the manufacturer. Retail sales, secondary market, and then there's custom sales, which is kind of direct sales, but it's usually smaller lots and stuff like that. So I'm putting it in its own separate category, custom sales. So direct sales are where you buy directly from the manufacturer. I have done this in my professional career, where we purchase bins and storage containers and stuff like that. And you can purchase them from medical supply companies where you buy them individually. Or, if you have to buy a bunch of them, you can go directly to the plastics manufacturer, Uline, and you can just buy yourself a bunch of them for about a third of the cost as you were paying buying them from the medical supply company. So, and you can get those kinds of savings personally also. Uline does not care who you are, buy their stuff. Now, obviously, the average person has no need for an entire case of bins. You only need one or two. So you're willing to take that cost hit because for you it really isn't one. You're paying 3 times what you would pay if you bought a lot of them, but you don't need a lot of 50 bins. You only need 2. So ultimately you are saving money. But in the event that you are putting together a garage workstation or a home studio or something like that, you might find yourself in need of large quantities, in which case buying directly from the manufacturer is going to be a savings.
I used to buy a lot from Uline when I had my bookstore.
Yeah.
I would buy, 5,000-6,000 bubble mailers, and shipping containers, packages. Because the bulk price is so much cheaper than when I can get it on the retail side, but I would go through it so quick. I mean, I was buying it, and it would take, by the time it got here, I was almost halfway through. So it was a continual thing where I had to continue to, keep on buying.
Yeah.
Uline is a great company.
They are.
Customer service-wise is phenomenal. We're not here to advertise for it,
Yeah,
but
we're not
I just want to let
advertising
you
for
know,
Uline, but-
if you really need a lot of like, shipping materials or things for work, if you're in the purchasing area, purchasing procurement department, you've got to look into Uline, because they have everything from safety equipment all the way up through packaging and shipping and snack foods, and everything else. They have it all. So
yeah, they do. They have a wide range of stuff, and yeah, again, purchasing directly from the manufacturer, save a lot of money. There's cosmetics companies that do something similar. These cosmetic companies basically they make the exact same cosmetic palettes, but then they sell them to retail sellers who then put their branding on it, and then you pay twice as much. And you can buy some of these cosmetics directly from the manufacturer. Some of them. It depends on who makes them.
be careful. There's a lot of scams out there when it comes to that stuff. That looks like the original, and everything else, but it's a cheap knockoff that came from another country, and if you don't know what is in it, the actual product itself. So, and especially in the cosmetics line, when trying to buy direct from the manufacturer, make sure you're really purchasing directly from the manufacturer. So that, and not just cosmetics, but home and health and beauty aids. Please do your due diligence and check the actual source.
That's true. And you can get one of the easiest ways to do so is you can literally just Google the website. Go to the website you're planning on buying from, and then Google that website to see what reviews other people have left, and see if you can find any additional information. It sounds cheap, but honestly, it's a super easy way to get the information you need. Is this website legit? And I have literally typed that in. www.whatever it is I'm thinking about buying.com. Is this site legit? And then you'll get the information you're looking for. There are a ton of things that are counterfeited. Honey is counterfeited.
Fake honey.
There is fake honey on the market. So
you can even find fake honey in your grocery stores in some cases, especially in bigger retail outlets like Walmart's and Target stores, Super Targets, and not so much in the small that next step down in your large chains like Kroger's and stuff like that, but in the stores where there's the margin is really small on the item itself, and selling bulk amounts of honey itself, you will, if you actually turn the container over and look at the back, you will find that you are buying corn syrup, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, and some of these retailers, they don't know either. They have purchased
Well, they don't care.
Well,
they're there to make a
a
buck,
larger
sell a
retailer
product.
probably doesn't care. But a lot of times they have also been scammed. And in which case, it happens a lot with honey that's labeled as wildflower honey.
Yeah.
And it's coming in from foreign shipments. It's cut with high fructose corn syrup, and your retailer doesn't know. That's one of the reasons why I personally advocate buying local honey. First off, you're supporting local beekeepers.
Support us.
And secondly, you know where it came from. You know what it is. That's just me personally.
You know what our bees are eating.
Everything. I'm gonna kill that fly.
Yeah, I know, right? The one fly. I mean, flies don't normally live this long, but this one does. I saw him over there having a martini earlier, and he had a big old cigar. He's like puffing away.
I don't think that was him.
Yeah, I think it was.
Huh?
And he said, "Hey, Mel, how you doing?" And I said, "Oh my God, you're still here? I thought you died already." He's like, "I'm gonna live forever. I am."
They only live like 3 days.
Fly.
The fly.
I am the fly.
It was a really good movie, by the way.
Yeah. All right, go back to the actual.
Okay, so direct sales, retail side, and then there's the secondary market. Now, anybody who knows me knows I love the secondary market because you can get amazing savings purchasing things on the secondary market. You're not spending a markup. Not spending a markup. You're not paying a markup. You can find amazing deals, especially if somebody's got something in relatively good condition, but they just want to get it the hell out of their house. You can fly in and scoop up those 2 amazing sofas for $100 for both of them.
Be careful what you buy.
They are really good sofas.
And the deal that she's talking about that we actually entered into, we did get two really. Well, one's actually a sofa. The other one's a couch.
No, actually, the love seat.
Is that what a love seat?
Yeah, we
couch?
got that. We got that from friends of ours.
But I'm talking about the two matching.
Yeah, the two matching couches. Yep.
Yeah, I think one's actually a sofa, considered a sofa because it's shorter in length, and the other one is longer. So I think that one's a
probably.
Yeah. Not that anybody out there cares
Not even
what
a
kind
little
of
bit,
furniture
but just so
we
you
have in our
know,
house.
it's an amazing deal.
We did.
So, and then there's custom purchasing, which again probably goes under direct from manufacturer because you're buying it directly from the person that's making it. But
I wanted to ask you a question about the other one
yes.
before you moved on. Sorry. But on the secondary market. Now, would you go out and buy bulk items on the secondary market?
Sometimes, but I'm going to want to look into it a lot more.
Would it be dependent more upon what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would avoid on the secondary market? Medicine, cosmetics,
personal hygiene items,
laundry soap. I would totally avoid those laundry soap. There are a lot of them are scams.
There's couponers.
I know that those
stuff,
extreme. I've seen people all the time online.
Yeah.
They've got like 10,000 bottles of like shampoo. Why would you need that? Because they plan on selling it on the secondary market, and they paid a fraction of what it costs in the store.
Yeah. So if it's a good deal and it's clearly branded, and it's in the original container and it's sealed, yeah, I mean, I'd be more hesitant. But if it checked out, I'd go ahead and buy it. But medications, personal hygiene items. The sad thing is a lot of people need to purchase medications on the secondary market because they can't afford their medications retail.
That's sad.
It is.
Is that just here in America? I bet that's just here in America. Our medical system here sucks.
It's not just here in the United States, but it is really prevalent.
People in, let's just, for instance, say Canada?
No, people in Canada, I don't believe have to do that because people in Canada can't get their medications.
Go to the hospital, $300 aspirin. But go ahead, next.
Oh, so then there's custom items, and that's where well, it's a variety of things. In our house, after I purchased it, there was a gal that I got a hold of who makes custom light fixtures, and I had some custom light fixtures made.
The light switches?
Uh-huh.
Those are super cool.
Yeah.
I'll play a picture of those here. When I edit this video, I'll put them in. You got to see these; they're really super cool.
Yeah.
Light fixture covers.
Yeah.
And covers.
I had a couple of custom light switch covers made, just smaller things. Recently, I purchased a purse. I'm not a big purse person. I'm pretty much more of a can I stuff it into my pocket and then go kind of person. But I do find myself oftentimes having to haul out a notebook and my pens, and I also need this, that, and the other thing. And if I'm traveling with the family, they all have things. Can you hold this? So a purse has become something of a little bit of a necessity, and I recently purchased one. I can make the English. I recently purchased one from a gal on Etsy who makes them custom. And I found a pattern that I liked, and we discussed fabrics. We emailed back and forth for about a week until we had everything nailed down, everything that I wanted, and it showed up 3 weeks later.
Would that be a secondary market or purchasing more direct?
Well, I have
from
purchased...
Etsy would be more purchasing direct.
It would be. It would be direct from manufacturer, but I have custom items listed separately because that's an individual, that's a collaboration between you and a craft person, as opposed to the rest of direct buying, which is they're just making a bunch of shit and you're like, yeah, I'll take one of those. Or I'll take 20 of those, or, whatever. So now that we've kind of gone over the basics, we're going to move on to some stuff. Go a little bit. So, direct sales. As we discussed beforehand, you can purchase directly from the manufacturers, typically in bulk. And the more you buy, the more you save. However, there are some direct manufacturers that you can purchase a couple of individual items from that you don't have to buy in bulk. We're actually going to provide a link in the description to another YouTuber who's got a huge number of videos all on a variety of different manufacturers. Now, granted, these are all companies to avoid, but we've got a link to her. If you're looking into a particular company, check her out. She's done pretty good research on most of these companies that are selling online, so she's a huge resource. That being said, the reason we're doing that, you can still get scammed when you're buying direct. The big scam is going to websites, going to fake websites. Like we discussed earlier, if you literally just Google the website that you're planning on buying from, and you will be able to get the information that you want. There's so many, we can't go through and list the individual scam ones because there's just...
or the different variations
more
on scams themselves. I mean, as long as there have been people alive, and we've been, as cavemen, people have been scamming each other, they're trying to get over on somebody else over something else.
The amount of effort that people put into scamming other human beings, if they just put that effort into not being a piece of shit, they could probably get what they needed to make a living.
I know, right?
There's just more every day. There's more scams every day. Whoa, totally lost my train of thought.
Scams.
Oh, yeah. So we put a link into, got some... Now, these aren't necessarily... Okay, we have a link to the Illuminaughtii.
That's the YouTube channel.
That's the YouTube channel.
We don't know her, but we like her content.
That is correct. We don't know her, but we do like her content. She does research on companies. These companies aren't necessarily scams in the classic sense of the word, that they're just going to take your money and not give you a product. These companies will take your money and they will give you a product, and it is not a good product.
Not even close.
Yeah, some of these products are downright dangerous. One of them caused permanent hair loss in people, and they've gotten around regulations in some rather interesting ways. One of them, and I don't remember the name of it, but she was discussing, it was a hair product manufacturer, and their extended use of their product caused permanent hair loss, and they got around those regulations by testing their product, but not for the amount of time that one would need to use it to cause hair loss.
Of course.
So she's a really good YouTuber. She's got a lot of good information. So we'll move on to retail. So some of the issues with retail, obviously there's a markup. You're going to pay more because somebody else went out, sourced it, put it for sale. You came in and looked at it, or in this case, you're buying online. You're buying it from Target or Walmart or whatever. So there's going to be a markup. But there's also, like we discussed earlier with direct buying, there's also a savings. Maybe you don't need 50 of whatever it is. So you are still saving money even though you pay 3 times the cost of an individual unit because you only need one. So you're getting what you need even though you're paying technically more. It's still a savings for you. Sometimes you can get deals on shipping when you're buying retail. Typically only if you're buying from the same retailer. There are some online retail places, I think, that will combine it. I am not familiar with that. And that's 100% just speculation. I heard somebody say, oh yeah, if you buy from blah, blah, blah. That sounds weird to me, but if you find it, awesome. I don't believe that it's super common. So you have to buy from the same place to get the shipping deal, but lots of places, you see them every time you click on some place, free shipping if you order over $50 worth of stuff. So literally, if you go online and you buy a pen for, what, $5? I don't know, probably not
sure,
even.
Whatever.
You buy a $5 pen, you're going to wind up paying more than that just to get the pen to you. But if you need other things, now you can get your pen. You got that for free. There's ways to bargain shop for retail. Will was discussing some of them earlier.
Yeah, like Honey. It's an add-on, browser add-on, and it will automatically search for coupon codes and discount codes from across the internet and then compare. Then you can see what the matter if it's maybe it's not directly from that manufacturer, or let me clear that up. Maybe it's not directly from Amazon, but it's from a fulfillment agent on Amazon, and they have a better price, and it includes the cost of shipping with that. And sometimes you can save over the price on an item on Amazon versus what it would be if you bought it from Amazon and used Prime for the shipping on that item itself. Other times you can maybe you're buying a pizza, or you're buying sushi or whatever, and whatever the item might be, food, and it will search online for a discount code that works on that item itself. Instead of having to go out there on a browser and search for coupon codes itself, it does it for you. But there is a trade-off on top of that as well, because those browser extensions like Honey, they keep a track of everything that you are doing and buying online, and then they sell that data back to the companies that you were just shopping at to direct market to you. That's how they actually make money. They're not making a dime off of getting you that $5 discount code on the pizza, but they will sell that information back to Pizza Hut and say, this person likes to buy pepperoni pizzas on Thursday, so now either email them or direct market mail, bulk mail them something for a pizza deal on a Thursday.
Yeah, I've heard it said, I've heard it quoted, and it's 100% accurate. When something is free, you are the product.
Yep, absolutely. We're all the product in this world that we live in. Every moment you wake up, everything that you consume, social media, everything, you are the product.
Mm. But if you don't mind your purchasing information, and a lot of people don't, hell, we even saved money for a while by signing up for one of those programs where you email your receipts in. It's an off branch of the Nielsen Corporation.
Yeah.
To market your purchasing habits. If you're okay with that, it's a way to save money. So, scams for retail. Huge. Just like wholesale, possibly even larger. One of the problems with that, and we'll get into that a little bit, is a lot of places that you're purchasing from, they're not the seller. So Amazon, sometimes they're the seller, oftentimes they're not. Wish, stuff like that, they're not the people you're, Overstock.com, they're not the people that you're buying from. They're just the platform. And they're protected under safe harbor laws. The basic idea being people can come in there. Well, the idea isn't to protect scammers. The idea is to protect the platform. Because the platform, especially the larger platforms, they really don't have any way of effectively policing what's sold on their platform. So the safe harbor laws are basically like, yeah, you've got a platform to sell stuff, and this dude was selling, counterfeit merchandise. There was no way for you to know, so we're not going to hold you legally responsible.
Right.
The downside to safe harbor laws is that it kind of de-incentivizes platforms from actively policing. Something that they couldn't effectively do anyways, but they could at least try a little bit. Now, Amazon actually is pretty good about kicking stuff off, but again, you have to let them know. Wish, on the other hand, is absolutely abysmal about it. And I've had...
Wish survives on the fact that they can sell illegally knocked off goods, because 90% of everything that they sell is coming from outside the country in, and you are the importer. They are just a platform offering you this, and you, by signing up and agreeing and purchasing, you are agreeing to knowingly that the items that you get may be of lesser quality or complete knockoffs.
No, they're not always necessarily knockoffs. Some of them are flat stolen.
Right. There are some really interesting. We could do an entire series on just the stuff that comes off of Wish.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from stolen merchandise, items that are made where they have skirted the copyright and laws of the country, or the intellectual properties of another company, and they make a not. Let me make sure I'm absolutely clear. I don't want to get sued. They are not the manufacturer. Just like on Amazon, somebody else is making it. They're just listing it on their platform and paying them through them, and they take a small little percentage off it, and they trust that the person who is selling this item has the right to make it, manufacture it, or sell it on their site.
So one of my personal issues with Wish is the fact that they are not very good about taking down products that are stolen intellectual property. And I have come across a couple. There's a couple of cartoonists that I follow, and you're scrolling through Facebook, and here comes this Wish ad. And I know that art. I know that cartoon. She doesn't sell on Wish. She sells directly from her own website.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about? So you go to the product, you let Wish know, you leave a comment, or in this case, me, I did all those things. I left a comment under the listing, hey, this is not the seller, this is the seller. I went to an artist's page, and because I don't know how to get a hold of her in person, it's not like I know her email address, like I'm just familiar with her work. But I go to an artist page where I know other artists that know her are at, and I'm like, hey, can somebody let so-and-so know I found this thing, they're selling her stuff. So, all of that up, she had been aware of this knockoff for months, and she had been working to get it removed from Wish, and they hadn't taken it down. So, here's this company making money off of another artist's work, and it's been months, and she can't get it removed. Because of that, I advise people not to purchase any novelty t-shirts off of Wish at all. Because are they legit? They could be. But we know if they're not, Wish wasn't doing anything about it.
I've been made aware that somebody was selling a t-shirt that was a knockoff of my design from my True Crime channel. And they weren't selling it on Wish, they were selling it on an actual website. But they had stolen my artwork, and they had taken everything, the entire design, the saying, everything that was on the back. They just removed my name, the YouTube channel name. And I reached out, and I contacted them, and they said, we're not the agents who made this item. We are just a platform.
Yeah, it's...
So
one thing that you can do, if you're buying off of that market like that, is you can do a reverse image search. Because 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, those people don't even have their own photographs. They have stolen the photograph of the for sale item off of the artist's page themselves. So if you just take a screenshot of that, crop everything other than the art, and do a reverse image search using a platform like TinEye or something like that, you can usually find out if that's stolen. And then, if you like it, purchase it from the actual artist. So, that's me being angry at Wish. Speaking of Wish, there's for those of you that have Facebook, there's a Facebook page called Go Home Wish, You're Drunk. It's worth checking out. It's hilarious. Seller recourses or buyer recourses, honestly, a lot of times there's not one. Especially if you're buying from Wish. Someplace like Amazon, there is a buyer recourse. You can get a hold of them. You can let them know, hey, this isn't what I was supposed to get, or this is wrong, or shit, they totally ripped this dude off. This is somebody else's stuff. Amazon is usually pretty good. Look into the site before you purchase to make sure that you as a buyer have a recourse. Secondary market. Secondary market, like I said before, you can get huge savings on stuff. But you can also find some rare things. Things that are out of print, antiques, stuff like that. You can find really good finds on the secondary market, and you can save a lot of money. It is perhaps even more ripe for abuse on the secondary market. If you're purchasing off of a platform like Facebook, which has a Facebook marketplace, you literally see it before you buy it. You arrange to meet somebody. Never meet them at your home unless you're selling something like, your house, which...
Then you can meet them at your house and sell them.
Then you can meet them at the house. I always recommend meeting them someplace public, gas station...
Dark alley.
Nope. The
No.
opposite of that.
Oh,
the exact opposite of that.
The forest.
No. Nope. Not.
No? You don't recommend meeting people in those two locations, huh?
No, babe.
Okay. All right. Now I know.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing wrong all this
Someplace
time.
public, someplace brightly lit, not at night.
I was going to add really quickly. Most police departments in the United States have set up what's called a safe transaction location in the parking lot of police departments, where you can meet someone. Maybe you're buying off of the marketplace. You're buying, VCR. I don't know who is.
Nobody buys those anymore.
Somebody's out there looking for a VCR.
No one's looking for one.
But or a Betamax player or something. And you can meet them in the parking lot. You can make a transaction, and usually the police have set up surveillance, or it's someplace where they can actually see it or hear you in case something turns awful. And please do not meet anybody to sell them a cell phone. That is the biggest scam. People will meet you and they will look at the phone and then they run off. And a lot of that happens, especially with cell phones and tablets. Something is quick and easy to run with. If you're going to sell a cell phone, know the person, talk to the person, and check out their background. Anything you can, and always, if you go to meet someone, and I don't care if it's in a parking lot of the police department, whatever, let somebody else know what you are about to do and where you are going.
And wipe it first. Wipe the cell phone before you sell it.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about that.
Everything. Take it back. If you can easily take it back to factory default settings, do that. Make sure you removed your SIM card. Some people forget to do that, especially if you're going down to one of those micro SIMs or something like that. Take the old one out. Yeah. Wipe your phone, take it back to factory defaults, get all of it in person if you've checked everything out. So, if you're going to purchase from the secondary market, the Facebook marketplace, and you haven't seen the item, use the Facebook Pay. Do not pay through another platform. And I'm going to tell you why. You're not going to get your money back. So, anybody...
Well, the likelihood is you're not going to. It depends on what you actually use. The scam where you got scammed is the seller convinced you to not pay on Facebook Marketplace, but to pay through a secondary system where the seller is more protected than the buyer.
Yeah, they convinced me to pay through Zelle transfer, which a lot of banks offer, and like a dumbass, I didn't bother to look into it beforehand because my bank offers it, so it must be safe. I was wrong. It's 100% safe. For them, there's no way for me to get my money back. So I'm a little upset. I'm very upset. But there's a couple of lessons to take away. First off, check, and double check. Secondly,
are you absolutely sure that Zelle is not going to be able to do anything to get your money back? Or was there a scam on them and then you got scammed?
Zelle transfers are notoriously hard to get your money back from. It's all dependent on whether or not your bank wants to, and Bank of America typically doesn't want to.
But for the amount that you got scammed, I'm sure that they would be interested in trying to help you.
It is $150. That's not a whole lot of money to them. It's a whole lot of money to me. So I had put down
$1.50 is too much money to you.
Yes. I had put a deposit down on a Switch because my
Nintendo game unit.
My husband bought me a Nintendo Switch for Christmas last year. And our son has decided it's his about 4 months ago. So I was like, I will get myself another one. He's too cute. I can't take it away from him. He's so cute.
He is super handsome, but you're kind of a pushover, and that's a different. We're a whole other video for that. We can't cover that in this one. We'll be here all day long just about how much he's got you wrapped around his little finger, and rightfully so.
There was an entire tear. One entire tear.
Was it an entire tear?
It was one entire tear. He was very sad.
It wasn't like he threw water on his face?
Okay, he does that sometimes when he wants something and he knows that crying will make mommy give it to him. He pretends to cry and he'll wipe his eyes a lot and then look at me and blink really big. And I'm like, you weren't crying. You weren't crying. You weren't. Stop. I know.
Yeah, mommy's kind of a pushover and he knows it. And you're going to have even more problems as he gets older. All right, but can we go back to the...
So if you're buying through Facebook, and if you use Facebook Pay, you actually have a recourse if you don't get the item is broken or something like that. You have a recourse to get your item back. If somebody convinces you to use Zelle...
If you have to use a secondary platform to pay,
use PayPal.
PayPal. At least you have buyer protection immediately, as long as you mark that you are sending the money to this person for merchandise.
There will be a markup.
You have to make sure that there is a fee involved, but I would rather pay a tiny little fee of a couple bucks, on $150 and get my $150 back than have no recourse at all. But you have to make sure when you send the money, you are not saying you are sending it friend to friend or family member or whatever. It is for merchandise purchase only. That is the only way you'll be protected through PayPal for an actual merchandise purchase.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of other money transfer apps and programs out there. Again, there's a ton, and there's new ones coming up every day. So don't do what I did. Look into it before you use it to see whether or not you have recourse to get your money back.
Yeah.
And whether or not,
Always, buyer beware if you're the buyer, and seller beware if you're the seller.
So, with all of that being said, I'd like to close with the suggestion that now the holiday shopping is coming up. For those of you who celebrate the holidays, maybe looking to purchase things. So this whole video is kind of give you guys a broad look at different shopping platforms and ways that you can do that. I personally like to advocate for direct purchase from craftspeople. One of the big platforms available for that is Etsy, and I use it not terribly frequently because custom crafted items are expensive, and as my husband and I have both noted, I am a notorious cheapskate. But I do like to support local craft people.
You think I'm ever going to get my table runner?
No. Sometimes not
I
even.
bought that through Etsy.
Sometimes not even local craft people. I purchased things from as far away as Italy. And it was amazing, and I would do it again. I wouldn't do it again. It was expensive, and the only reason I bought it was because my dad's had given me money for my birthday. But if they give me money for my birthday next year, I'm going to do it again. So, but I like to support craft people who are working with their hands, people who are doing art. I love it, and I think that as a society we need to see more of that, because I think that functional art is amazing, and I think it brings a lot to a person and to a community. So I would like to suggest that you use a platform such as Etsy to look around and see if there's something that you might like to purchase. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's something that was made by hand, something that somebody put time and effort into, something that you looked for. If it's something like the bag that I had made, it's something that you put time and effort. It was a collaboration between you and an artist. And I just think that's, I don't know, it feels a little bit better than just walking into a Target and grabbing something off the rack. Then again, there's something to be said for just walking into a Target and grabbing something off the rack. Then you have it right now, and as long as it works, it works. But all of the same issues apply. When you pay, if you do something like that, pay through the seller, pay through Etsy to the seller. That way you have a recourse for getting your money back.
Or any website.
Or any website, yeah.
All right, is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, my turn.
No, he doesn't get a turn.
I did too.
No turns for you.
Okay, when it comes to the holiday season, to remember what the actual reason is we're celebrating the holiday. It's not about, and please, I know this is hard on so many people out there. The economy has been down, and people have been out of work. It doesn't fall ill on us. We know exactly how much people are suffering out there, and how much it's really going to hurt coming into the holidays. So just keep in mind, be thankful for your health, your family's health, and your loved ones, and everybody is safe and has gotten through this. And if you've been affected and you've lost a loved one, maybe instead of going out and buying all the hottest toys for your kids, remember to give back to somebody else who's less fortunate than you. Okay?
Or if you're particularly hard hit, there are oftentimes community resources.
Yes.
That you can reach out to, especially around the holidays. I do know that seasonal depression and holiday-specific depression is a thing, especially for people who maybe are suffering financially, maybe emotionally, maybe it's hard on your family. Reach out to your community resources. I know we have viewers all over the world, and I don't know what those resources are outside of the U.S., but if you can, or even reach out here, we'd love to talk to you.
Thank you. You stay safe out there.
Hi, I can do my sound check. Sound check, sound check. Now I'm doing sound check, sound check, sound check. Check the sound. Are you in place? Why is that camera only looking at me? I'm going to kill that fly. I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to set its body out where its friends and family can find it.
You got this is recording, right?
Yeah, well, you
Okay.
can edit it out.
Okay. All right. But do you want to do the intro or?
Yeah. Hi. Hi.
No, that camera. That camera. I told you, don't look at this camera. Pretend that camera's not there.
How is my hair? Do I need to do my hair better?
I think you're doing great. It looks great. You
Hi.
always look great.
Aw, thank you.
Okay, let's do the intro.